experience. We left like at probably like midnight, 1 in the morning, going to Choctaw up there by Starkville. I had 2 water bottles and a bag of beef jerky. Thought that was going to be it. I did not know that we were going to be up there all day and all night. So we get in the woods. You know, I'm not seeing anything, so I text Chris. I'm like, hopefully we'll leave pretty soon. So we all kind of meet up, text each other, and Dan said, well, let's go down here and look. So we walked literally miles through brushes and weeds trying to find something. There was nothing there. He wanted something to be there, it wasn't there. We come back, meet up with the rest of the fellows. So I texted Chris, and hey, we're on our way back. Maybe get something to eat, and then we'll be on our way back. Then I hear, hey, I know another place we can go. So we went to that spot, and we was out there until dusk had set. So I was like, wow, 2 water bottles and a bag of beef jerky. I thought we were gonna sit down, eat breakfast, you know, and so it's a good thing I rationed it out. It was a pretty rough experience, but I do want to go back. And the worst part about it, we didn't see not one deer, not one deer.
Until on the way home on the side of the road.
On the side of the road, there's a bunch of bambies just running around. Now while we're in the woods. If you have your Bibles this morning, turn to Mark chapter 27. Mark chapter 14. Mark chapter 14. And we'll be looking at verse 27. Mark chapter 14 and verse 27, it says this, and Jesus said unto them, all ye shall be offended because of me this night, for it is written, I will smite the shepherd, and the shepherd shall be scattered. But after that, I am risen, I will go before you into Galilee. But Peter said unto him, although all shall be offended, yet will not I. And Jesus said unto him, verily I say unto thee, that this day, even this night, before the cock crow twice, thou shalt deny me thrice. So kind of setting this story up, Jesus and the disciples just had the Last Supper before he's going to the cross. And Jesus telling his disciples that you will doubt me and you will flee from me when they come get me. Peter was like, not me. I got your back. I ain't going nowhere. You know, that's kind of how I'm picturing how Peter is, because you think about it, Peter has seen some of the things Jesus has done. He's heard of others. He's been around it. If you've been around someone as much as Peter was with Jesus, then you would realize there's no way I can deny you. That's impossible. Not once, but 3 times? There's no way that could happen. But obviously Jesus told me he would do it, so it was bound to happen. So just think about how when Peter said, I won't run, I won't flee, I'll be there for you. You know, think about in our marriages how we're supposed to have each other's back until a bad decision is made and we want to point the finger and blame each other. You know, what happened then? What happened to having each other's back? It's very important that when we say we have each other's back, that we have each other's back through the good and through the bad times. Turn to Matthew chapter 26. Matthew chapter 26. And look at verse 69. In verse 69 it says this, now Peter sat without in the palace, and the damsel came unto him, saying, thou also wast with Jesus of Galilee. But he denied before them all, saying, I know not what thou sayest. And when he was gone out into the porch, another maid saw him, and said unto them that they were there, this fellow was also with Jesus of Nazareth. And again he denied with an oath, I do not know the man. And after a while came unto him they that stood by, and said to Peter, surely thou also art one of them, for thy speech bewrayeth thee. Then began he to curse and to swear, saying, I know not the man. And immediately the cock crew. And Peter remembered the words of Jesus, which he said unto him, Before the cock crow, thou shalt deny me thrice. And he went out and wept bitterly. Let us pray. Dear Heavenly Father, Lord, we come to you this morning, Lord, asking that you would just give us something new today, Lord. Just maybe open our eyes about things we didn't realize. Lord, praying this lesson will be a blessing to all. And Lord, I just want to give you thanks and glory, Lord, for this opportunity I have this morning, Lord. Now I pray, amen. So Peter realizes what he's done. Peter realizes that he denied Jesus Christ 3 times, just the way Jesus said he would. This morning, I want to talk to you about being a camouflage Christian. That word camouflage means to hide or to blend in. You know, it was funny that we were talking about hunting. You know, when you go hunting, you have to blend in. I wasn't aware of some of the things, some of the ways you blend in, like some stuff that you spray on, you know, some deer urine, kind of blend in with the woods. I realized about the clothing, how you blend in with the woods there. But also think about how, when we normally think about camouflage, we think about our military, you know, and the uniforms that they wear. You know, if you see the military vehicles that ride down the street, you know, how they can blend in whatever environment they're in. You know, you think about the weapons they have and the accessories they have. I remember one night, it was not too long after we had a bomb threat here at the church. Caleb and Tony was walking the building. It was a Wednesday night service, and they had these flashlights. Well, they're white, beaming out. At nighttime, you could see them. And you could see them inside the church, and as I was ushering, I went outside and told them, hey, you got to cut that light out. And said, well, we're just walking around the church. I said, well, you guys need to get a red lens. Because like in the fields, you know, even at war or whatnot, you'll put a red lens in the nighttime so it's harder to see. You don't want to show a white flashlight and everybody knows where you're at. So think about that being blended in with your environment. Peter denied Jesus 3 times. In this example, he was a camouflage Christian. He was trying to blend in with his environment that he was in. He didn't want anyone to know that he was a part of Jesus Christ. He didn't want anyone to know that he was one of the disciples who walked with Jesus daily. He tried to fit in. How did he try to fit in? Look at verse number 74. Then he began to curse. Camouflage Christians blend in with the world through their words. Camouflage Christians blend in with the world through their words. In verse 74, he says, then he began to curse. Peter began to curse just to try to blend in with his surroundings. You know, just like our military, they carry themselves a certain way. You can kind of tell who's in the military, who's not, by the way they carry themselves. Well, I believe Peter, since he walked with Jesus, he carried himself a certain way. Him not realizing how he carried himself, he stood out from others. You know, the way he talked, his manners, the way he was probably humble. All those things go into play. And he didn't realize no matter what he did, he was going to stand out. But he tried to blend in with his surroundings. He tried to blend in. Peter cursed. He denied Jesus. Christians cursed. Believe it or not, Christians curse. Christians getting involved in conversations they shouldn't be having. Christians get involved with things they shouldn't be involved in. How can you help someone, give someone the gospel, when you're involved in those type of conversations? Cursing. How can you set the right example? Who's going to want to be like, I want to be like him one day. I want to grow like he's growing. You can't do that if you're constantly cursing. You can't do that if you're trying to win your friends, your family to the Lord, and you're steadily involving yourself in inappropriate conversations. They're not going to understand how you changed. They're not going to see a change in you. You can say, hey, I got saved, I'm living for the Lord, I'm going to church, I'm doing this, I'm doing that. How can they tell? You're blending in with your environment. You got to set yourself apart. Camouflage Christians blend in with the world by their words. Camouflage Christians blend in with the world by the clothes they wear. Going back to the military again, when military have their uniform on, they stand out. And I wasn't here last week to say thank you to our veterans and our active duty military, so I'll say it now. Thank you for your service. It means a lot. Every time I see you, I should be saying that just because what you guys do and the sacrifices you make for our country and for your families. I really do thank you for that. But think about their uniforms and how they stand out. One thing I never kind of tried to figure out was this: the Navy uniforms above ships. Back in the day when I was in the Navy, we wore coveralls when we were on the ships. But now I call it blue digis, but they have a term for like Navy working uniforms, type 2s or whatever, but they're blue. But my thought process this whole time, at nighttime, when you're out to sea, you fall over the side of the ship. Can't nobody see you. It seems like they would have us wear something different at nighttime, but they didn't. And believe it or not, people fall over the side of the ship all the time. It's not uncommon to hear someone fall over the side of the ship. And it's just a blessing that 99.9% of them get recovered. At nighttime, I make sure I stayed inside the ship. We call it the skin of the ship, staying inside. I don't want no parts of it. But mostly at nighttime, it's the smokers out there anyway. I didn't smoke, so I didn't have a problem with that. But you have to have a lot of courage. Maybe you made somebody mad that day, and they just want to throw you overboard. Nobody would know. You can yell help on the way down, but after that, the ship is gone. You're just out there. No flashlight or no nothing. So that's something I didn't understand about the Navy, but I love the Navy. If I had it all over to do again, I would be in the military. But camouflage clothes, women, the Bible says dress modest. You can't be wearing those short shorts and those strings out in public. It's not called for. The Bible said dress modest. Although those short shorts and those string shirts are great for the bedroom. Can I get an amen on that? Are you saying no amens on that? That's a great place for that. It's not appropriate to be wearing out in town. Men, do not wear those short shorts. If you have them, get rid of them. Don't try to blend in. Brother Marcus, get rid of them.
He's got some blue and orange.
Okay.
But camouflage Christians, they blend in with the world by the clothes they wear. Camouflage Christians blend in with the world with their habits. Let me say this. Old habits are hard to break. Old habits are hard to break. It's hard for me to get angry and it's hard for me to get mad, but there's a couple situations that I go straight there. But most of the time, it seems like I should be getting mad, I should be getting angry. I just let it go by. Maybe because I'm getting older, maybe because I'm getting closer with the Lord, but I just don't get angry that quick, that fast anymore. But old habits are hard to die. I know I told you guys this story about my contract, and the ideas I had to deal with it. Although there were ideas, I wanted to hit golf balls at his house because he lives on a golf course and want him to come outside so I can jump on him. But those are just ideas, and I share them with you guys because why? We're family, and now I guess the world knows about it. But those thoughts never went into action. I never was going to go hit golf balls at his house, but it felt good because those habits I'm so used to in the past retaliating. That's why those old habits are so hard to die and to get rid of, because we want to retaliate. Someone says something, do something, we want to go right back out and retaliate. So that's what I wanted to do. And that was the wrong way of handling business, but I'm so thankful I have a wife that's more spiritual than me. When she said, hey, just pray about it. Just pray about it, God's going to work it out, and he worked it out. It's important that we realize our old habits are hard to break. Our mentality is, let's get even. What can I do to get even? Think about in our marriages when we fuss and fight. Sometimes you want to get that last word in. I like to say that last uppercut. You want to get that last little jab in when it's not necessary. What I'm saying? Don't go there. This morning, we had an opportunity to go there. Chris said, I thought you were going to put this in the cleaners for me, and she said, I guess you didn't. That was a great opportunity for me to go there. Because I took some stuff to the cleaners, but I didn't, so I said, no. Started brushing my teeth. I was like, what a great opportunity to go there. Then I went to her after I brushed my teeth, and I said, babe, I apologize. I didn't realize you wanted me to take that to the cleaners. So we kissed. There was no making up because, there was really no argument. It was one-sided, but that was an opportunity for me to get that last blow in there. And I can't even say what I would say. I may start an argument after we leave here. But that was a great opportunity for me to retaliate, and I didn't do it. Sometimes in our marriages, we just have to take a step back when we hear something that we really didn't want to hear and just deal with it the right way. Amen. Sometimes no words are the best words, but sometimes your voice needs to be heard. There's a time and place for all of that, but it was just so funny that I was teaching this morning and this opportunity came up, and I was like, wow. But of course, when she said I wasn't thinking about this, or I really wouldn't have said anything, or had those thoughts, but I'm thinking, really? But anyway, old habits, they're hard to break. Camouflage Christians can't win souls. Camouflage Christians can't win souls. The reason why is because you're weak testimony. Like I talked about earlier, if you're hanging out with friends or family, still living that old lifestyle, still wanting to talk about the old lifestyle you used to live or the old things you used to do, and you're laughing about it and thinking about how great that stuff was, how you going to win them? How you going to lead them to the Lord? You haven't did anything differently besides saying, hey, I'm a Christian. No, we need to stop saying it and acting like we're a Christian. I think about Sunday mornings. I don't know, I've been in and out so much, but I don't know if I share this with you guys. My friends, I take a picture prior to me coming to church, and I send it to them, and me in my suit. And I told them I hope they have a good day, and I'm trying to encourage them to go to church. And I also told them, like I tell you guys, wearing a suit to church doesn't mean anything. It's not about me wearing a suit to come to church. It's about coming to church. But I did tell them this in a text message, and I'll tell you this. In my past, I went to clubs. And when I went to clubs, I wore my best outfit. So if I'm wearing my best outfit for the world, I'm going to wear my best outfit for God. That's the reason why I wear suits to church. And I'm trying to send that message to them, and I want them to send pictures back. Hey, I'm going to church today. This is what I look like. And it's not about, and I told them it's not about the fashion show. I don't care if they have a jeans and t-shirt on. Just go to church. And they're going to see this because I'm going to let them see the website, and I hope they go to it. And I hope they look at it. And I know I had a friend, and he went to it, and his reaction, I won't repeat it, but his reaction was humbling. I was shocked that he went there, and when he told me he went to see one of my lessons, it was really humbling. But the fact of the matter is, we can't win souls with a weak testimony. Brother Dan, he is so right when he talks about how you can't let family and friends in your personal business, especially when it's bad. I'm living proof of that with my mother-in-law. When we first met, she wanted to shake my hand. And I said, Moms, I don't shake hands. We hug. And so I gave her a hug, and ever since then, we're hugged. And over these years, we talked, and now we're having these great conversations. We have a great relationship. And it's so awesome. But it's all because of God and Chris, especially how every time she talks to her, she tells her how amazing father I am and how amazing husband I am, even when I'm not. But in their eyes, I'm the best ever. And that's the way it's supposed to be with our in-laws. The Bible tells obey our parents. I don't believe it stops with mom and dad, although it's not there, but mother-in-law, father-in-law, it goes on there too. Run out of time, but I want to tell you this though. With all that being said, with my mother-in-law, we had opportunity to talk. It's amazing. It took me 3 opportunities to do it. Chris said, I want you to talk to my mom about going to heaven. The first opportunity I had, we went up there about a month ago, went to church. After church, I was going to talk to her. Well, she went to the gravesite to see her mother. I was leaving that evening to fly out on a plane. Second time I was in Huntsville, and I told Chris instead of coming home, I was flying to Ohio to go see her, to try to give her the gospel. Maintenance on the plane breaks down, can't go. Third time it was this past week, and we went up there and wanted to do it Friday, and she was talking about God, and Chris is kicking me under the table. What a great opportunity! I'm about to leave, and I'm saying no because my father-in-law, and brother-in-law is coming home, and so I wrote her a note while we was at the dinner table. So I want 20 minutes of your time before I leave, and no one see me write it. I don't know how, but I'm at the dinner table, and she throws it back to me. I gave it to her. She throws it back to me before I left Friday evening. It was like, take your trash with you. But her response is, oh, they're okay. One great thing about it, which is really shocking, she never asked why I wanted to talk to her. Because our relationship has grown. She didn't care. She was willing to give me that time. And with that time, I asked her, I talked to her about Jesus, told her what she needed to do to get saved, and she got saved.
Yeah.
Point of that is that if Chris was always talking bad about me, I would have never had that one-on-one opportunity to lead her to the Lord. My last point, I gotta go, I'll just say this really quick. Put on the whole armor of God. Every morning, die your flesh, put on the whole armor of God. And that's important. Don't be a camouflage Christian. Don't blend in with the crowd. When you do that, you're hurting your testimony, you're hurting the opportunity for your family and friends, and even your co-workers to go to heaven if they're lost. Or you're hurting them to get back right with the Lord. We'll pray and we'll be dismissed. Heavenly Father, Lord, we come to you this morning and say